All right. We have an additional to our final segment of the program on today. We're going to first hear from Truth Be Told, our final spoken word presentation performed by spoken word artist and author Truth Be Told, and I'm sure it will be just that. Ladies and gentlemen, Truth Be Told. Come on up, Truth Be Told.
I'm back in the green room talking to somebody like, yeah, we're going to come get you. How y'all doing? Okay, I'm from Saginaw, Michigan. My grandparents are from Saginaw in the building. My grandparents are from Brownsville, Tennessee, and I say that because my grandmother told me that when somebody talks to you, you speak back if you got home training. So we're going to try this one more time. How y'all feeling? All right. Normally when I perform, I do performative spoken word. This isn't necessarily a day for a performance. It's a day for action. It's a day for your words to matter. So if you know me, the whole rewind thing, let's not do that today. Let's remember why we're here. What happened 58 years ago today? What happened 66 years ago today when Emmett Till was lynched? This poem is entitled, Lift Every Voice. What do you call a democracy that doesn't protect its citizens' right to vote? You call it what it is. You call it broken. Last summer, Derek Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's neck. Breonna Taylor was murdered where she slept. We voted, and the response was an insurrection attempt on Capitol steps and 400 laws written to restrict votes where we rest. Y'all gotta see how this all connects. Worse yet, the GOP's lawyer told the Supreme Court to its face that protecting voting rights, that democracy, hurts Republicans. Let's call this what it is, y'all. Democracy hurts white supremacy. And we can no longer afford to ignore the elephant in the room or expect help from elephants who view black and brown voices as insects to be stomped out. This is a warning. What do you call a democracy that's not a democracy for all? It is apartheid South Africa reinvented, intended on keeping political power in the whites-only section. Question: when has historical progress for minorities ever come under bipartisanship? Answer: nowhere near as many times as the filibuster has been used to prevent it. Meanwhile, Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin stand like cops in Minnesota, hands in pocket while the racist filibuster squeezes our democracy, barely breathing, barely speaking. Meanwhile, our so-called representative is more focused on social media posts than her co-workers trying to kill her constituents' votes, which either makes her aloof, insincere, naive, stupid, or complicit. Now, which is it? This isn't the time for political theater, Ms. Sinema. We've seen this movie play out throughout Reconstruction, come in the form of a so-called Southern Compromise, disguised as states' rights, disguised as protected racism, which birthed the nation, which birthed the Klan. Ma'am, we've lived through this nightmare, and still do. As a black man in America, I've grown accustomed to be shown how white lies, laws, and violence threaten black and brown lives. I know trouble when I see it. Maybe that's why they don't want us to go to schools to teach it. Maybe that's why they don't want us speaking or raising our voices at polls, because elections are supposed to have consequences, but racists don't believe in accountability from those they don't view as equal. This is a warning. It's time that we make amends with the fact that our amendments never mended America's racism, or that this nation is far from fulfilling its promise for everyone. Martin told America nearly 60 years ago that she was then a century overdue in doing right by its people of color. Those same manacles and chains remain today through legislation. 6 decades later, we are on the democracy's edge. And instead of removing racist rules used to try to subdue us, now, not in 2017, not in 2018, now we hear talks of bipartisanship from those more focused on power than the people. Voting is power for the people. But many people want black and brown voices reduced to the size of a peephole. I didn't think America negotiated with terrorists. Foreign, domestic, or elected. Y'all, they tried to steal a damn election. Now they want cooperation and attention and acceptance. We say hell no. The only effective method is if voting rights are protected. This should be the last summer any eligible American has a harder time trying to vote than own a gun. The last summer we have representatives that don't represent the people. The last summer I have to worry about my unborn grandchildren fighting the same fights my deceased great-grandparents had to fight. Why do we have fewer voting rights in 2021 than we do in 1965? If you can't read in between the lines, just listen to what our ancestors have been saying since the day you stole us. You owe us. Don't forget who was the first to die for this country. You owe us. Pop quiz. What's minimum wage for a slave times 24 hours a day times 365.25 times 244 years? Answer, you owe us. Remind me whose original land I'm standing on while I'm performing this poem. America, you owe us. Because a nation should never write a constitution its people can't cash. I ask you again, what do you call a democracy that doesn't protect its citizens' right to vote? You call it what it is. You call it broken. And then you fix it. So get to work.